state. Dust of snow. Dust of snow is a metaphoric poem which is written by Robert Frost. Listen, the meaning of dust. Dust means tiny particle. Tiny particles of snow. You might have encountered the dust while going on the road. We find it is a tiny particle of soil. The same way, when snow starts to fall in the region where generally snow falls, we find that it is also a tiny particle. It is very small in size and it's just sprinkled out on all the body of the plant as well as on the ground. That's why we say it is a sheet of white silver curtain. White silver curtain. Here the story goes in the mind that the author Robert Frost is not in good mood. He is not in good mood. Something he was thinking, maybe due to confusion, he was not in such a state to make his mind, body and soul together. So he was just walking. During his walk, he could not understand whether he should stand under a tree or maybe something else. So it is said that in the poem, when he was walking, he stood for a while under a tree which was called here hemlock tree. What is called here? Hemlock tree. Generally, hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. And the flower of the hemlock tree is white. What is the color? White. And it is generally called the poisonous tree. As we will know after a little explanation, that why the author has taken the white or maybe this hemlock tree as because he knew well that the hemlock is a poisonous tree. It will be compared. But right now we are discussing that when he stood under the hemlock tree and was continuously busy in thinking something. He was just making some plan or maybe doing something in his mind. He has not mentioned in this chapter that what he was thinking. But he was busy in thinking. He was continuously thinking something else. As because he was unable to get the solution of his problem, suddenly what happened? A crow. Again the word is coming here, a crow. Crow is generally in which color? Black. And it is not also a sign of happiness, as we know. Crow is not called the sign of happiness. It seems like that the crow is also a kind of a negative bird that shows the negativity. And hemlock tree is a poisonous tree, so it is also a kind of a negativity, symbol of negativity. Let's see what happened when a crow flew and sat on the branches of hemlock tree. So while sitting, he just flapped out his wings and the tiny particle which was already laden on the branches of hemlock tree, it just poured down on the shoulder or on the body of Robert Frost. And suddenly his concentration was broken. Suddenly what happened? His concentration was broken. When his concentration was broken and he knew that I am standing under a tree, which is hemlock tree, and he saw the time that what I have been doing right from early in the morning, I have already spent my half of the time in only thinking what to do now, and maybe I was in grief, I was in not as such a state so that I can say that what I was doing. So he says that thank you very much. Thank you very much to the maybe crow. Thank you very much for the situation in which all the tiny particles of the snow just pour down on his shoulder. and he said thank you. Why did he say thank you? As because he said thank you very much for the saving of my time. Whatever was wasted, that was okay. But now the time which was left now, I could get to do something else. So that's why he said, thank you very much, I saved my time. But he also said that while thinking I ruined, means I destroyed, I finished, I did not use my proper time while thinking. So he said, so in the view that what we understand, that when a person is busy in his work, when a person is busy in his work and he always thinks that I would be able to get my result, desired result. But if you could not get your result, you will fall in dilemma. You will fall in dilemma. Dilemma means confusion. Dilemma means confusion. So you will fall in dilemma, and now you are considering everything. Now you are calculating the time. Right from early in the morning when I wake up, it was 4:30 or 5:30. I have been continuously thinking over this over this problem, but I could not get. Maybe something I was thinking that it is the time when the new mullion, yani new cities were being made in those days in England. So it was the time of 1931. 1931. During that time, the new cities were being brought and the forests were being cut. So he was a little bit sad to see that the conditions are going to be changed. That's why he was thinking something else. Maybe it is my own perception, because writer has not written in this chapter that I was thinking, I was sad as because the trees were being cut. It seems like that he was standing and thinking something. The snow shows the negativity, means it was a completely gloomy atmosphere, and in the gloomiest atmosphere, when he could not get his own desired result, he stood there. Maybe he was pacing by putting his hand back at the back and pacing. Suddenly he could not understand that I am just standing under a tree which is called here hemlock tree. And as the hemlock tree is a poisonous tree and he was simply standing under that, suddenly a crow flew and sat on the branches of the tree, and due to his severing his body or maybe adjusting his body, what happened? The tiny particles of the snow just fell down over his body and his concentration was broken, and he thought, thank you very much, whatever I did, that is okay, but I saved my time. So this way, this poem gets over. Now we'll analyze this poem by understanding line by line. Okay, understood? This was the summary.